It's easy to confuse a woman being friendly with her being flirty. But what most men miss, even more than that, is when a woman's energy shifts from interest to actual sexual attraction. That raw physical tension she's trying not to show, it leaks out in ways that aren't obvious. They're subtle, they're messy, and they're deeply instinctual. Most women have learned to hide direct signs of sexual interest, because being too obvious can lead to judgment, assumptions, or making the first move, which, socially, they've often been taught not to do. But if you know what to look for, there are patterns in her behavior that give away exactly what she's feeling. And once you see them, you'll never unsee them. Let's dive into the 20 signs men constantly overlook when a woman is sexually attracted to them. 1. She keeps her legs crossed tightly, until she forgets to. When a woman is sexually attracted to you, she often carries an initial tension in her body, especially in how she sits. You'll notice her keeping her legs tightly crossed, almost as if she's subconsciously guarding herself. But here's the real sign. She forgets to keep doing it. Maybe after laughing, shifting positions, or relaxing into the moment, her posture changes. She uncrosses her legs casually, or lets one leg fall open more freely. It's not always a performance. It's a lapse. Sexual attraction often shows not in what she does deliberately, but in the body's return to comfort when the mind gets distracted. The shift from tight to loose says everything. She isn't just comfortable. Her body is responding to the chemistry. You'll see it when she doesn't know you're watching. 2. She casually scratches near intimate areas when you're close. This one's subtle, and it's rarely intentional. When you're standing close or the tension is rising in conversation, she might absent-mindedly scratch or adjust somewhere that's unusually intimate, like just above her chest, along her inner thigh, or near her waistband. It's a nervous release. When sexual tension builds, people often redirect it with small, controlled movements. And for women, these gestures can land near places they're physically aware of. She won't make a big deal of it. In fact, she might not even realize she's doing it. But if you notice it happening only when you're in proximity, it's likely not a coincidence. 3. She accidentally lets out a sound that's too soft to be a laugh. You're talking, joking, maybe just teasing a bit, and she makes a sound. But it's not a full laugh. It's something else. A low, breathy chuckle that barely makes it out. Or maybe a quick exhale paired with a glance away. This is the kind of sound people make when they're suppressing something. A laugh that turns into a sigh. A hum that doesn't match the moment. When a woman is sexually attracted, her reactions can glitch for a second. She's not just amused, she's affected. And those small, involuntary sounds are often her body processing something she doesn't want to say out loud. Pause here. If you're the kind of guy who's building himself into someone she can't ignore, type "level up" in the comments. Let's see who's serious. 4. She touches her own lips after you speak. Most guys focus on whether a woman looks at their mouth. And yes, that can mean something. But even more telling is when she touches hers. This might be a finger brushing her bottom lip, her hand covering her mouth briefly, or even playing with a straw or pen that brushes her lips. These moments often happen after you say something that makes her lean in emotionally or sexually. It's a kind of displacement, a physical self-soothing that centers around where she would want to be touched. It's intimate, subtle, and loaded. Watch closely. It often happens without her realizing she's doing it. 5. She pauses when reapplying lip gloss or chapstick around you. Most women reapply lip products all the time, especially in dry environments or after eating. But if she starts to do it around you, and then pauses, that's worth noting. She might swipe once and stop, or apply slowly while glancing at you. It's not the action that gives her away, it's the hesitation, the awareness. She's aware of how intimate that act is. She's aware of your eyes. She's aware of her mouth. And that pause is her subconscious flagging the moment as charged. When a mundane habit turns into something slow, quiet, and self-conscious, you're not just dealing with grooming, you're witnessing restraint. 6. She adjusts the pressure of her voice, like she's tuning for intimacy. You're mid-conversation and suddenly, her voice gets softer. Not because she's tired or bored, but because something in the energy shifted. When sexual attraction hits, many women instinctively lower their vocal energy. It becomes more breathy, close range, slightly melodic. It's the kind of tone we use when we want to be taken seriously, but also when we want to be heard just by you. It's not always about the words. It's about how those words are being carried. If she sounds like she's leaning in without physically doing it, chances are her interest just crossed into another level. 7. She shifts her scent by running fingers through her hair. Hair touching is cliché advice, but most of it's too vague to be useful. Let's focus on one specific behavior, when she runs her fingers through her hair and subtly shifts her scent closer to you. Many women use scented hair products, conditioners, sprays, oils, because it allows them to carry a personal aroma that's more subtle than perfume. When she flips or runs her hands through her hair near you, she might be deliberately activating that scent. If the action is paired with a lean toward you, or if she does it just before leaning in, she's not just fixing her hair, she's making sure you can smell her. And smell, especially for women, is one of the most primal triggers of sexual connection. 8. She changes how she exhales when you lean in. When you move a little closer, maybe to show her something on your phone or speak more privately, watch her breathing, specifically, how she exhales. If there's a subtle shift in her breath, a pause, a short laugh, a quiet sigh, it's not just nerves, it's her body recalibrating. Sexual attraction often shows up as changes in respiration, especially in response to proximity. A slow exhale can be a moment of control, a way to calm the rising energy. A quick one might be an involuntary reaction to closeness. It's not dramatic, and that's exactly why men miss it. 9. She removes something small, a ring, a bracelet, without explanation. When people are nervous or distracted, they fidget. But when a woman is sexually attracted to someone, her fidgeting becomes less about boredom and more about control. One oddly specific sign: she takes off a small item, a ring, a bracelet, sometimes even an earring, and just sets it down or plays with it. It's intimate in a way that feels unintentional. Removing jewelry signals exposure, even subtly. It's a small rebellion against being put together. If she does it while talking to you, especially while holding eye contact or leaning forward, that's not just idle fidgeting. That's her body softening the boundaries. 10. She stretches in front of you, but doesn't finish the stretch. She raises her arms as if to stretch, but pauses halfway. Or she arches her back slightly and stops, like her body interrupted itself. This might seem innocent, but think about how instinctual stretching is. It exposes the torso, lengthens the neck, pulls clothing tighter, all of which are deeply primal gestures. When sexual attraction is bubbling up, a woman may begin to stretch unconsciously as her body loosens up. But when she suddenly becomes aware you're watching, she pulls back. That unfinished stretch is the giveaway, a moment of exposure interrupted by self-consciousness, and it almost always happens when she's in a state of tension that's not entirely platonic. 11. She exposes the inside of her wrist or elbow, then watches. There's a softness to the underside of the wrist and the bend of the elbow, areas that are usually hidden or protected. When a woman exposes these zones around you, especially during subtle movements like resting her chin on her hand, leaning on a table, or adjusting her hair with her elbow turned out, it's not always conscious, but it's incredibly telling. These are erogenous adjacent zones that we unconsciously guard unless we're comfortable or turned on. But here's what makes it different from comfort. After doing it, she glances at you. It's a flicker. She's not checking her posture. She's checking you. That's not just openness. That's desire wrapped in vulnerability. 12. She freezes for half a second when you move closer. You lean in, not aggressively, just naturally, maybe to show her something on your phone or to grab something near her. She stops moving, doesn't flinch, doesn't step back, just pauses. That half-second freeze is a physiological moment of processing. It's the body deciding, do I want this? It's not fear, it's not discomfort, it's alertness, tinged with anticipation. If she stays still, and you notice her eyes hold yours or drift briefly to your mouth or collarbone, then resumes movement after the pause, you've just stepped into her sexual radar, and she's adjusting to it. 13. She shifts her hips toward you, while facing away. This one flies under the radar for most men. You're standing near each other, maybe in a group or at a bar, and she turns slightly away, but her hips stay pointed at you. This creates a very subtle twist in her posture. Her words or eye contact might be directed elsewhere, but her pelvic orientation is toward you. This is powerful. The body naturally protects or hides the hips when we're disinterested or closed off. When they're pointed at someone, even indirectly, that's primal signaling. And if she stays like that while talking to someone else, it's not an accident. She's physically drawn to you, even if her attention is split. 14. She exaggerates stillness when you're nearby. Stillness is a strange but revealing cue. In a busy room or during casual movement, if a woman goes unusually still when you're nearby, especially when you're not directly engaging her, pay attention. This kind of exaggerated stillness often means she's aware of you, sensing you, even presenting herself without engaging. It's a type of frozen awareness. Predators do it. So do humans, especially when sexual energy is in the air. If she stops fiddling, stands with straighter posture, or holds a pose slightly longer when you're within reach, you're not just on her radar. You're triggering her self-display response. 15. She avoids certain topics. With a smile. Not all sexual attraction is expressed through what's said. Sometimes it's what she avoids talking about. You mention something slightly sexual or teasing, and instead of engaging, she smiles and steers away. That dodge, paired with a smile, a lip press, or an eye roll, is key. She doesn't want to show too much. She could lean in, but she doesn't want to be obvious. That suppression is sexual tension at work. She's not shutting you down. She's drawing a line to keep the moment charged. A total shutdown would mean discomfort, but a redirect with a smile? That's her managing the chemistry. 16. She drags out physical closings like hugs or goodbyes. Goodbyes are where attraction either vanishes or spikes. When a woman is sexually attracted to you, her body will linger in transition moments. Maybe it's a hug that lasts one beat too long. Maybe her hand stays on your arm for an extra second after a joke. Maybe she doesn't start walking away even though the conversation has ended. These micro-extensions don't feel deliberate, and that's the point. If she lingers, she's giving the moment a chance to evolve into something more. Watch her feet. If they're not turning away, she doesn't really want to go. She's waiting to see if you do anything about it. 17. She removes barriers, but acts like she didn't. In body language, barriers can be anything. A bag on her lap, her arms crossed, a phone between you, a coffee cup held at chest height. When attraction is lukewarm, those objects stay in place. But when it heats up, especially sexually, she starts to remove or lower those objects. Maybe she puts her phone away, places her bag beside her instead of in front, uncrosses her arms. These shifts may seem small, but they're critical. The giveaway? She doesn't call attention to them. The movement is smooth, unconscious, because it's not a plan. It's desire acting through her body. When those shields drop, she's not just warming up. She's becoming available. 18. She notices the heat of your skin without touching. You pass close by her, and she says something like, "Wow, you're warm," or "You're like a space heater." It seems casual, even funny. But let's break it down. She didn't touch you. She sensed you. She's tuned into the physical sensation of your body's presence, the temperature you carry, the energy. This kind of comment means she's not just noticing you. She's noticing you on a sensory level. That's sexual awareness. Most people don't register heat unless they're focused on it. If she comments on your warmth, she's not just being observant. She's registering you as a physical being, one she wants closer. 19. She stares at your mouth when she thinks you're distracted. This is not the classic lip glance during conversation, which is overused and overanalyzed. What you're looking for here is the hidden stare. You're not looking at her. Maybe you're reading a menu, texting, watching something across the room, and that's when it happens. Her eyes drop to your mouth and stay there for a second longer than they should. Because she thinks you're not watching, this moment is unfiltered. She's letting herself look, not flirt. Look, this is pure, visual, unguarded desire, and it only shows up when the pressure is off. 20. She stays seated after everyone else stands up, right in front of you. A group conversation ends. People start standing, shifting, moving on, but she stays seated. Maybe she's still smiling, or looking at her drink, or pretending to finish a thought, but she's not moving. She's in your space, and she's letting the world shift while she doesn't. This is a delayed exit, a pause in motion, and it means something. She's holding the moment open. She's saying without words, "I'm not done here. Are you?" Most men overlook this because they're focused on the social flow. But if she could have left and didn't, that's your chance. The moment's not just casual, it's charged. Up next, discover how she greets you if she's crazy about you, or learn how to tell if women think you're good-looking. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.